So, we are back here, and the Ravens have moved on to 2-0 after a 27 to 24 victory against the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati. So, I'm going to share my thoughts about the game. And yeah, again, the Ravens moved to 2-0 and 1-0 in the division. The Bengals are down to 0-2 as a result, and 0-2 in the division. So, despite missing a lot of starters, the Ravens once again they overcome the injuries they have against a very healthy Bengals team. They pretty much had nobody. Nobody was injured. Except for, Joe Burrow. He started limping at the end of the game, basically. He aggravated the injury, but that injury was aggravated at the end of the game. So, I'm going to ask a quick question. What's going to be the excuse now? Just wondering. Because when it was a lot of starters for us out, I'm saying multiple, including Lamar, it was, just line up and shut up. It was no excuses. But Bengals fans have already came with the excuses for losing this game. And it was the Joe Burrow injury, which again had nothing to do with you losing. It had nothing to do with you losing. If you watch the game, it had nothing to do with us winning. What had to do with you guys losing was you guys getting outplayed by, again, a team that is missing their two best players in the secondary and their two best players on the offensive line. But the difference is that we had our star quarterback. In many other matchups, we were missing Lamar. But then every time Lamar would play, it would be a win for us, no matter how many guys were out for us, right? Lamar has improved to 7-1 against the Bengals in his career, and he's undefeated in Cincy. 3-0. So we're going to go through the game. I'm just going to stop with that. Bengals fans are a very tone deaf, is the best word you can describe Bengals fans. But yeah, we're going to go over the game. We're going to start with the defense. The defense did way better than expected. A lot better than expected. Because we were missing Marcus Williams and Marlon Humphrey. The secondary did very, very fine. We had Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase in this game. He proceeded. Hold up. I'm just going to check the stat line right there. Hold up. Wait a sec. Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened. Yeah, okay. So, for the Bengals, their leading receiver was T. Higgins with 89 yards. After that, it was Tyler Boyd. Jamar Chase had 5 receptions for 31 yards. And again, we had Ronald Darby, Rock Ya-Sin, and Brendan Stephens lining up against these guys. T. Higgins, he scored 2 garbage time touchdowns, including one against T. Higgins, which was not against T. Higgins. against Ardarius Washington, which I don't know why the hell Mike McDonald did that. Matching up a guy that's maybe 5'8" at best against a 6'4" guy. I don't think that was a recipe to success, but hopefully he doesn't do that again. But talking about Ardarius Washington, he played a very, very scrappy game. He had ups and downs, but he had more ups than downs. Again, it's a hell of a story for him coming in undrafted. We were able to develop a guy like him. We were able to develop him into being an effective player, a very good player for our team, and it didn't even cost us a draft pick at all either. So again, props to him. Unfortunately, I don't know how the hell he got injured, but he's placed on IR. It sucks. It just seems like every single time a player plays good for us, he just has to get injured. Another standout was Geno Stone, who got a pick in the red zone. He had a decent return, and then I don't know why. I still don't know why. I mean, that is negative vision. Negative vision. Dude had a lane for the pick six, and then he just decided to just go out of bounds. Geno Stone, if you're watching this, you need to hit up Ed Reed, and he's gonna give you lessons on interception returns, because he was the master of that. Ed Reed, he would take every single time he intercepts the ball, he's for sure returning it. It does not matter where he is, and it's gonna be for 6. So hit him up. He's gonna teach you how to return a pick 6, because that was brutal. You showed negative vision. Good on you for getting the pick, though. This was what's important, because it did set up Lamar to Zay Flowers, that absolute dot. So you love to see it from the offense. We wouldn't have that moment without you being dumb. But hey, good on you. Next, I'd like to say the linebacker position. Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith have to be the best linebacker duo in the league. And at least, they have to be in the convo. Because every single time you have to bring up the linebacker duo discussion, they have to be in it. Because Roquan Smith, he had a quiet game in the stat sheet, but he was basically a coach on the field. He was out there telling people where to line up. He was being that leader. It's his defense. It became his defense since the trade. So you love to see it, really. And yeah. So good on Roquan, good on Queen. Patrick Queen, he's mastered, ever since he's mastered his tackling, since the end of his second year, he's really been balling, and you love to see it. He was balling before, even before Roquan came, and Roquan, he gave him that extra boost, where it felt like he didn't need to be the leader of that defense, if you know what I mean. So again, great game once again by them, and yeah, about the pass rush. I think Jadeveon Clowney has played well. He's played very, very well since becoming a Raven. He's not really known for sacks or getting to the quarterback, but he's been really getting there. He got a sack on Burrow, his first career sack as a Raven. He's really played well. About Odafe Owe, apparently he has an injury. Hopefully it's not serious, because if it is, then we're gonna have to go get another guy. It was a very, very quiet game in general by the pass rush, but Jadeveon Clowney was the guy who stood out. He didn't put up crazy numbers, but he's been playing very, very well since he became a Raven, and it's been kind of showing on the stat sheet, but he's been fine. He's he's been pretty good. So you'll love to see it. Uh, and and that's pretty much it for the defense. I'm gonna have to say, right? I mean, I think the secondary played way better uh, than we expected. So props to them. If they can play like that without Marlon Humphrey, then that's a big plus. Because when Humphrey comes in, it's gonna be scary hours. It's gonna be scary hours. So onto the offense. Let's start with Lamar Jackson. So, a again, a really efficient game by Lamar, and you just see him settling in. You wanted to see a continuation off of the foundation that was built in the second half of last game, and you saw it in this game. You saw it in this game. He played amazing. Uh, Again, it looked like he was rusty. It looked very, very visible that he was rusty last week, and he's dusting it off, and he hasn't even fully settled in, and he's putting up performances like these. Good God, completely outplayed Joe Burrow again. For Lamar, people like to say Burrow's better than Lamar, but every single time they play each other, Lamar always outplays him. Lamar has always outplayed Joe Burrow. It has always been the case. So that narrative that Burrow is better, it kind of needs to die. I'm going to be honest with you. It needs to die. Because it's not something that was ever true. Because now we're seeing Lamar in a real offense. And we see him do better without Greg Roman. Which you should have seen coming if you were a logical person. Because, again, that stupid ass narrative, that dumb ass narrative that Greg Roman made Lamar, it's so stupid. Because Lamar has won a Heisman and should have won another Heisman without him. And then he would have won MVP without him as well. It's very clear that he would have. Just Todd Monken is extremely... He's much more superior. He's spreading things out, and we're seeing the actual potential of this offense. Instead of Greg Roman, he would not change. He would just not change, and he would limit. It was a limited offense. He was extremely limited. It was not good. Like, it was time for people to realize. It was time for people to realize, because that is a myth. The myth is that Greg Roman has actually been a good coordinator. That is a myth. Because besides 2019, what has he done? And we don't even know how much of an impact he really had in 2019. So that also, the offense got stale, but it was not good to begin with. He just had strong first years, and then it's a complete dip. So I'm going to transition to Todd Monken. We hired Todd Monken. We hired Todd Monken to ice games. This is the shit he does. This is what he did. Third and short, ices the game with Gus Edwards, who I'm going to get with after. He completely able to call the game. Call game. This is what this is why he gets hired. To do things that Roman couldn't do. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And also, what adds to it is the ability of adjusting, the ability of having the offense a complete, not a complete different, but a different offense in the second half than in the first half. No matter if we're winning or losing at half, he's gonna adjust. The adjustments are apparent. Greg Roman, he would go into the half with the same, go into second half in the same game plan, and sometimes it would lead to us losing. Todd Monken actually does halftime adjustments. And we saw the offense do better in the second half than in the first half once again. Against a Bengals team that is not even bad. It's just that Lamar owns them. It's as simple as that. Lamar owns the Bengals. It's always been a thing. He owns the Bengals. And Joe Burrow as well. He owns Joe Burrow as well. Joe Burrow against a healthy Lamar does not have a match. And especially Lamar with a way better, a real offense now. Real offense without a brain-dead offensive coordinator. It's as simple as that. The Bengals defense had no answer for Gus Edwards. No answer. Gus Edwards, he needs more carries. I think he still needs more carries. Because in between the tackles, they had no answer for Gus Edwards. At all. Gus, man, he's the type of guy, he just does his thing. He just does his thing. He comes in, does his thing, comes out. It's really not the prettiest. Aesthetically, it's not the best, but it's efficient. It's literally up there in the league. He's a yards per carry guy. He gets 5 yards per carry. And a guy like Gus, he tires down the defense. The opposing defense gets tired because he's big, and every single time he gets 5 yards, it's just, again, it's tiring for the opposing defense. And this is how we did. We controlled the clock with him. And our running backs played pretty well. I think Justice Hill, he ran hard. He's not that good, but he runs hard. He does his thing. And the offensive line, they were missing their two best players and held up against a tough defensive front. So, they had Sam Mustipher. He was facing against DJ Reader, and he did that. He did good. BJ Hill, he's no slouch as well. They actually did well. And also, you can say that playing in preseason factored in well because McCary and Mustipher were playing. And John Simpson, they were playing in preseason, so it helps them in the season. Well, unlike in week 1 with Stanley and Linderbaum, the rust was apparent because they didn't play in preseason, and week 1 was technically their preseason game. So, a great job by the offensive line once again against a very tough defensive front. Holding up well, the pass protection was good. Every single time Lamar had time, he would cook. And you love to see it. Lastly, our receiving group, Zay Flowers is that dude, man. Zay Flowers making plays ever since ever since week 1. From week 1 to now, he's been making plays. He really looks like that next Ravens receiver. And he made a very, very nice catch and a very, very good throw from Lamar in double coverage deep. You'll love to see it. Man. Like, this is what it was. This is actually what the offense missed. With Greg Roman and what we had, it lacked fire. It had no fire at all. It was missing fire. It was missing the speed, the explosiveness. And then now, it was also missing the knockout punch as well, you might say. Zay Flowers is all of this. He brings the fire, the explosiveness, and the knockout punch. He's gonna make a play that completely completely kills the team, completely takes their soul. I love to see it. And Nelson Aguilar, he led the team, and he led wide receivers in yards. He had a very nice touchdown on a very nice dot from Lamar. You'll love to see it. And again, these big shots, the best thing about these shots is that we're able to get a lot of these throughout the game compared to before with Greg Roman. For example, I'm going to use that missed Lamar throw, because Lamar at the start of the game, he missed a lot of throws. Not a lot, he missed a few, but the point still stands. He missed a few throws, including a deep ball to Zay. He overthrew Zay. In the Greg Roman offense, that would be it. You would not see any of this for the rest of the game. But what I like is that we still get the play calls. The play calls are still there. We continue we continue swinging. We keep taking swings. This is what I love to see. So, and then after that, it puts Lamar into a rhythm. And then after that, you're gonna see throws, DOS to Zay, DOS to Aguilar, just beautiful balls because now he's in a rhythm. He's in a rhythm. And the reason why nobody's bringing up that overthrown ball to Zay is because Lamar had many other opportunities to connect after that. And this is the story for a lot of other quarterbacks. Every quarterback misses throws. Except, you have Mahomes, he'll miss 10 throws a game. But then he'll have 20 more opportunities to connect. And then he ends up connecting, so people forget about it. This is what I'm starting to see with this offense. Because you're going to miss. You're going to have misses, of course. But then you're going to have opportunities. Other opportunities. Exactly what we've been missing with the Greg Roman offense again. Which was very frustrating. Because you have one deep throw a game and it's over. It's over. You don't get anything else. So, I love seeing this about the offense. The offense has played very, very well. It's actually a top 5 offense in efficiency. It's a top 5. It's 4th in DVOA. I'm gonna say. Yeah. And Mark Andrews come back, had a touchdown as a return. His safety blanket, you love to see it. Touchdown as a return. You have to have one. Odell. Good God, I'm gonna have to go on a rant here. Odell, he had an ankle injury. It's likely to be a nothing injury, but we dodged a huge bullet. The Bengals turf literally tried taking him out, dude. But I don't really think we took him out because of that, really. I think Harbaugh decided to take him out because the Bengals were being very, very dirty with him. They were trying to push him around. They were constantly targeting him after plays. He was constantly getting targeted. And then Harbaugh thought it wasn't worth it. So, it was fine. We won the game. The score does not indicate how good we did. We pretty much should have blew them out, but we pretty much just hung around, and then they scored a few garbage time TDs. But if you watched the game, you shouldn't have been worried about blowing a lead or anything. So good. Yeah. So, and by the way, burn the hell out of that field. I mean, NFL owners are so cheap, man. They're so greedy. Good God. You'd rather not pay for real grass and then have people's lives affected. Good God, you guys are evil. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Click the like button. Comment down below your thoughts. And see you guys in the next video.